Mrs. Tandon, come in. You remember this project I told you about? Are you ready to work on it? Good. They have a small list of requirements. Can you fit them in the designs? And yes, they are leaving tomorrow, so we better finish the base drawings today. Is that okay?
Not a Zachary moment. Good evening, everyone. What you just saw was an example of a common office conversation. But did you notice a non-verbal answer to every question? And did you manage to understand what that answer meant? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guest, now that I've got you enough confused, let me introduce you to an interesting element of the Indian communication system, the Indian headshake. The Indian headshake is also referred to as the head bobble or the head wobble. The gesture is a complex movement. It involves a side-to-side tilting of the head in an arc along the coronal plane. It looks like a cross between a nod and a shake. But does it mean a yes? Or does it mean a no? Or even a maybe? Let's find out. The gesture is a physical equivalent of the Hindi word acha, which happens to be a distant cousin of the Greek word daksi. From good to I understand. The actual meaning of the gesture generally depends on the context in which it is being used, and also the speed and the facial expressions that accompany it. So if you are visiting India, there are various occasions where you might encounter this headshake. For example, if you ask the taxi guy, will you take me to this particular address? A quick head wobble could be the answer. If you are using a public transport and you ask a person, may I sit next to you? A head shake may be a response. You might also come across this gesture at your hotel reception desk when you spend a great amount of time explaining a particular requirement to the attendant and then ask, did you get it? What do you expect? He might do just a head shake. So the head shake is a way of saying a yes and a no at the same time. It is an intentionally ambiguous gesture which leaves the interpretation of the answer to the other party. Now, the question is, why do we need to use this head shake, and what are the meanings of this head shake? Commonly, a quick head wobble is an affirmation of understanding and enthusiasm. A slow head wobble represents an unsure and unenthusiastic response. A close study of the gesture has revealed that there is a strong psychological and cultural reasoning behind the head shake. In Indian culture, it is considered rude to say no to any request made to you by a guest or a friend. Also, it is considered inappropriate to give a direct negative feedback. And God forbid, if an elder member of the family has asked you to do something, saying no is just not an option. So this head shake was developed to overcome the awkwardness of such situations. It is a polite way of signaling your feeling and telling your level of enthusiasm in performing the task. It is also a very smart way of not giving a direct commitment or a direct answer. Once you discover the meaning and the many ways of using this head shake, you will be surprised to know that how infectious this gesture can be. And there's a high chance that by the time I end my speech, some of you would be unconsciously listening. The followers of the Indian head shake say that understanding a head shake can lead to spiritual enlightenment. Knowing how to interpret the head shake is something that can change your life forever. Because now you can decode a gesture that is extensively used by one of the largest populations of the world. So if you are a traveler planning to visit India, today you have learned enough to avoid any humiliation in the public place. If you are into business and dealing with a multinational company, you can now communicate well with those multitudes of Indian workforce working with you. And if by any chance one of you is Mark Zuckerberg in disguise today, then you might be tempted to change those Facebook smileys with headphones. But the most important thing, if you are a Toastmaster, today your day is made. Because later on, when I'll come and ask you, how is my speech? You don't have to brainstorm for the correct words. You can simply do the head shake. Because now